Tasting coffees in busy environments where we're experiencing sensory overload, just like this one today. As a result, we can become disconnected from where our coffee is from and what it tastes like. So today, I have created an interactive tasting experience. I will be removing one of your senses during each of the courses, which allows you to connect with the flavors created by each person that is part of my coffee's value chain. While I prepare my signature beverage espressos, let me tell you about the first person in the chain responsible for the flavors of my coffee. Mauricio Chata. His farm, Finca La Negrita, is located at 1,800 meters above sea level in Tolima, Colombia, in a valley where the volcanic soil and climate create the perfect growing conditions for healthy and delicious coffee cherries. Today, you'll be drinking his Típica Mejarrado. It is a hybrid of red bourbon and Ethiopian landrace. This cultivar is rare in Colombia, but I chose it because its incredible flavor profile. This coffee is 48-hour, nitrogen-flushed, anaerobic natural. The nitrogen flush removes the oxygen from the fermentation tank, resulting in a long-lasting aftertaste of dark chocolate in your espresso. The anaerobic fermentation allows Mauricio to create more fruity compounds in this coffee that you will today taste in your espresso as flavor notes of cherry, blackberry, and pineapple. What makes this coffee's processing so unique is what happens during drying stage. Mauricio dries this coffee for 6 weeks in a dark room where the UV light is completely removed and replaced by infrared lights and dehumidifiers. The absence of UV light protects the coffee cherry cell structure, which helps to preserve the fruity flavors from the fermentation. The infrared lights and dehumidifiers create a controlled dehydration, giving this Típica silky and coating tactile in the espresso. To enhance this tactile, I'm using 20 grams in to 47 grams out throughout all 3 courses. I'm brewing at 92 Celsius to maximize this coffee's sweetness. For your espresso course, I have decided to rapidly chill the first 20 grams of the shots, as this preserves the volatile aromatics and creates flavor clarity. So once again, the flavor notes for the espresso are cherry, blackberry, and pineapple, with the aftertaste of dark chocolate, with medium sweetness like pineapple, medium acidity like cherry, and medium bitterness like dark chocolate. Now, judges, coffee's flavor is a combination of aromatics that we can smell and tactile sensations that we can feel. When we smell coffee's volatile aromatics, our brain recognizes these as flavor cues. But when we take the sense of smell away, our brain automatically focuses on the tactile sensations. I'm taking this concept and I'm using it for my espresso course. I will be removing your sense of smell at first to focus on this coffee's tactile experiences before bringing the aromas back to focus on the tasting experience. When I serve you, please evaluate the crema, stir the espresso 3 times, placing your spoons in the pink cups on your right, but wait to taste. There we go. There we go. Now, judges, when I ask you to, take the nose clip you see in front of you and place it on your nose like this. When I ask you to, pardon me. When I ask you to, place it on your nose like this. Take the first sip and swirl the coffee inside your mouth to only evaluate the tactile. While the coffee is still in your mouth, remove the clip and place it back. Then take your second sip to focus on the flavors and the aftertaste. If you need any more guidance, you can see them on the cards in front of you. Thank you. Now, judges, let's move on. The key to exceptional milk beverages is sweetness, both in coffee and in milk. Studies show that the removal of auditory distractions enhances our perception of sweetness and our ability to taste. So that you can fully focus on this tasting experience, I will be removing your sense of hearing. Before I do so, let me tell you about the second person in the chain responsible for unlocking the sweetness of my coffee. Stephen Houston. He roasted this coffee for 11 minutes with an end temperature of 212 degrees Celsius and with a development time ratio of 18%. This coffee is very dense, which meant that it had to spend more time in higher temperatures in order to develop flavors, richness, but most importantly, sweetness. When I serve you, please evaluate the visuals. Stir the milk beverage 5 times, placing your spoons in the pink cups on your right, but wait to taste. I chose to use lactose-free dairy milk due to its sweetness and fat percentage of 3.4%, which I concentrated further by using freeze distillation, creating creamy and buttery texture to the milk beverage. To balance this, I'm using 80 grams of milk for each of the espressos. I steam my milk to 55 Celsius to retain its sweetness. This complements the flavor note of cherry from the espresso, creating a new note of rum and raisin ice cream. The rest of the notes for the milk beverage are apricot yogurt and light brown sugar. There you go. Now, judges, how to taste these milk beverages? Thank you. When I ask you to, place your clipboards face down underneath your table setup. Grab the ear defenders you see in front of you and put them on. Take 2 sips to evaluate the taste and experience. Once you're done drinking, remove the ear defenders, pick up your clipboards, and score the beverage. Here we go. Now, please go ahead and enjoy. Now, judges, if you could please join me on this table. 3 on this side and 1 over here. Perfect. The next person in this coffee's value chain is me. And as a barista, it is my role to use flavor to connect people with coffee. We will start with 4 espressos, which I chilled in a hyperchiller to create a final drinking temperature of 20 degrees Celsius for the best flavor clarity. To honor my Nordic heritage, I'm adding 50 grams of cloudberry syrup. I made this by squeezing fresh cloudberries to a fine filter to create a juice. I blended 3 parts of the juice with 1 part sugar to create the syrup. Cloudberries are extremely rare, but they have incredible flavor profile, just like my Typica. Next, pardon me, the citric acidity transforms the red stone fruit flavor in the espresso into a yellow stone fruit flavor of peach in my signature beverage. Next, 22 grams of Darjeeling cold brew. I made this by steeping 5 grams of Darjeeling tea in 300 grams of water for 12 hours at 12 degrees Celsius. Darjeeling tea goes through the same process as my Typica, controlled dehydration, to preserve its florality. When combined with my espresso, it creates a flavor note of lemon peel. And finally, 14 grams of freeze-distilled coconut water. I made this by freezing 1 liter of coconut water and letting it defrost by 50% at room temperature, which took 10 hours. The saltiness and the flavors of the coconut water elevates the tropical notes of my espresso, giving my signature beverage flavor note of mandarin and white grapes. Judges, I'm blending the entire drink to create velvety textile for the best tasting experience. Now, please wait till I call time to evaluate. And when I do, take 3 sips, swirling before each of the sips for the best tasting experience. The final sense I will be removing is your sense of sight by serving this drink from blind tasting classes, as what we see directly influences what we taste. By not being distracted by the color of the liquid, you can better connect with the flavors of it. Judges, it is so easy to become disconnected from the people who play a role in each specialty coffee's journey. But by taking the time to connect with the flavors, you become the final link in the chain. Because at the end of the day, it is the flavors in the cup that truly connects us all. Time.
Thank you very much, Roosa. Thank you very much.